We still have a lot of time for the PSP. This little portable aimed at being a PS2 that you could fit on your pocket. And although it never quite managed that, there's a heck of a lot of great things about the PlayStation Portable. Not only was it home to some of the best PS2 games of all time, which gained a new lease of life on the handheld, it also boasted its very own collection of brilliant, creative, weird, and ultimately best PSP games. On the off chance that you'll pardon the heft of the system and clunkiness of the single analog knob, the PSP was a wonderland of rich games that felt flawlessly settled between the brief encounters found on, say, a Game Boy and the lengthier encounters found on the PS2. So let's take a minute to celebrate and recognize 10 of the leading PSP games of all time, all of which have more or less stood the test of time. For years, Dracula X Rondo of Blood was considered a lost holy grail in the Castlevania series, trapped as a rare Japan-only inclusive for the TurboGrafx 16 CD. Then came Castlevania The Dracula X Chronicles, packaging not just this 2.5D remake of Rondo, but the original and an updated version of PlayStation 1's legendary Symphony of the Night. The whole package is a blood-stamped love letter to fans, loaded with weird characters and a shiny new boss mode. To this day, it remains one of the best games in the series. Overlooking the fact that this compilation offers two games in one, Power Stone and Power Stone 2, Power Stone made 3D multiplayer brawling cool long before those fancy PlayStation All-Stars came onto the scene. The game conveys an entire stack of playable combatants, all of whom light up the fields with smooth, explosive action. The decision to bring the formerly Dreamcast exclusive Power Stone series to Sony's PSP was a good choice, not just because the handheld was an ideal venue for quick pick-up-and-play arcade action, but because it demonstrated how the PSP could give lesser-known series a second chance. In many ways, the PSP is the Dreamcast of portables, a misunderstood venue for brilliant, upbeat game making. Monster Hunter Freedom demands the best from you. It requires cunning, patience, the ability to take a beating, and the willingness to return for more. For those willing to tackle its challenge, however, it's also one of the most rewarding experiences on the PSP. Taking its lead from Monster Hunter G, Freedom is a massive monster hunting game full of prey who will put your warrior through hell and back. You can try mashing your way through early game bounties, but bigger enemies require experimentation and expert planning. That said, the genius of Monster Hunter Freedom is you'll want to keep trying, not just to reap the in-game rewards, but to soak in that rare sense of accomplishment you only get from looking genuinely tough foes in the face and living to tell the tale. This game made Monster Hunter an international treasure. Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core returns fans to one of the foremost notorious gaming domains in a way that feels right on a handheld platform. There's still bounty of opportunities to kick around with Zack and other FF7 characters, but the short burst missions do away with time-consuming RPG tropes and let you hack away at the substantial experience at your own pace. Indeed, the slot machine include, notably named Digital Mind Wave, keeps the activity humming and infuses a sense of luckiness and shock into each experience. It may work in an unexpected way than what we were used to, but Crisis Core keeps the FF7 components intact, whereas conveying a new turn on a classic story. This was one of the primary enormous ventures by Hajime Tabata, who went on to coordinate the enormous series with Final Fantasy XV. Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories isn't the first portable GTA spin-off, but it's the most polished of its kind in the PSP roster. A prequel to PS2's Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories pushes the PSP in all the right places to bring the Grand Theft Auto world to life in ways that seem impossible for the technologically limited PSP. This was thanks in part to a new game engine resulting in a cleaner, more visually arresting handheld Grand Theft Auto. Even in the post-GTA Online world, it stands as a technical and creative achievement. What you are doing in this odd PSP exclusive series is difficult to depict without utilizing the word patapon itself. It's a game that walks to the beat of its own drum, borrowing notes of the rhythm game genre to compose a interesting tune all its claim. It's like Lemmings meets Elite Beat Agents or Loco Roco meets Donkey Konga. See? Hard. With Patapon 3, designer Pyramid idealizes its formula. Once more, the game challenges you to lead an armed force of Patapons to triumph against the 7 fiendish Arc-Fiends by tapping out drum beats to control their actions. The controls are more natural, the visuals are more varied, and the multiplayer includes an entire new dimension to the Patapons' journey. It's a continuation that layers changes on beat up about each viewpoint of the game without missing a beat. Daxter is the spin-off to the Jak and Daxter PS2 series you never realized was possible. Taking place at the beginning of Jak 2, ready at dawn's upbeat open-world platformer shooter chronicles the adventures of wisecracking Ocelot Daxter as he attempts to save his buddy Jak from the clutches of Baron Praxis. If you've never played a Jak and Daxter game before, shame on you. Then that sentence might as well be gibberish to your ears, making this an experience catered to franchise fans above all else. Still, the visual and gameplay fidelity of Daxter on such a teensy portable console was mega impressive at the time, and the title still holds up today as a big premium action adventure with a tonally consistent story deserving of the Jak and Daxter branding. There's action, drama, laughs, boss fights, LAN multiplayer, minigames, collectibles, and much more to be enjoyed in Daxter, making it an absolute must-play for the PSP enthusiasts. Ready at Dawn and SCE Santa Monica Studio captured Zeus lightning in a bottle when they packed the God of War series into Sony's handheld. God of War Chains of Olympus was an amazing accomplishment, but Ghost of Sparta outperformed it with an enterprise that's smooth and gorgeous. Taking after Kratos' seek for his brother Deimos, Ghost of Sparta is fundamental for devotees of the series canon, and whereas it doesn't rise to the same scale as its console siblings, it comes damn near, whereas appearing of some new moves along the way. By the time you plumb the depths of Atlantis, swim the river of lament, and tear a rat through the domain of death, you'll feel as in the event that you've survived a bona fide Greek myth. Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker captures the blockbuster feel of its console comrades in a way that makes us wonder if Hideo Kojima secretly upgraded our PSPs. The insane plot, months of bonus content, and the obsessive army building later used in Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain keeps you wrapped the entire 30-hour runtime. Yes, 30. The action mixes classic Snake as kickery with deep squad management that sees you tweaking the ins and outs of Mother Base while training militaires sans frontiers for deployment in mission. Combined with the multiplayer co-ops and versus ops modes, these elements make Peace Walker feel like it's about to burst out of its UMD at any moment. But then Snake is never one for staying within bounds to begin with. Before we go on my number 1 pick, Here are some honorable mentions: Final Fantasy Tactics: The War of Lions, Valkyria Chronicles 2, Loco Roco 2, Persona 3 Portable, Dissidia 012 Final Fantasy, God of War: Chains of Olympus. Lumines is ageless. Tetsuya Mizuguchi's psychedelic puzzler scratches our synesthesia tingle by utilizing light and sound in ways that make each round feel as new and energizing as the last. Indeed, more than a decade after its release. Lumines turns black matching into an craftsmanship, changing the scene with each skin and advancing a well-worn concept into a trippy, tub-thumping, zen-like getaway for the faculties. It says a lot that a PSP launch title remains its crowning achievement, but it only takes a few runs with this musical prodigy to understand why. While it's had sequels on PS3, PS Vita, even iOS and Android, the PSP original is still the best. So yeah guys, that's it. If you guys like this video, leave a like, let me know what you think of the video, and as always, I hope you enjoy.